Boom. Wake up, boys. Let's train. Get out of the haze. It's time to learn how to make some cash. So if you are interested in learning how to handle objections, this video is for you. Objections that you get on sales calls where people are saying it's too much money, I have to think about it, got to go talk to my wife, got to go pray on it, got to take some time, send me an email. I'm going to teach you how to handle that, and I'm going to teach you by showing you. I did it here. This is a dating offer that I have been working on for a great company that I'm working with right now. And this guy here is going to have a price objection. He's going to say it's too expensive. The money's too much. You know, that's a lot of money. Shit. And I'm going to show you exactly how I handle it. A couple notes. This is not the full call. This is 17 minutes of the call. The call itself, the full close was 35 minutes. I cut out my pitch. I don't like to go into my pitch and show it here publicly because it's a lot of privacy on the company I work with, and there's some privacy agreements we have as far as our clients and sensitivity as far as who they are and, you know, the work that we do. So I'm not going to be showing that here. But what you will see is how I ask certain questions, how I go into figuring out really what he needs and figuring out exactly why he wants to do this now, and then figuring out, you know, what happens if he doesn't do this. You know, what's the real fear there if he doesn't do this, figuring out what's the gap been and what's the difference been between where he's at now versus where he wants to be. All those are important parts in the sales process. Those are important protocols, important steps in the process, which I'm going to give you here. This is being played on 1.25 speed, so we're going to be a little faster than I normally talk. So if you feel like I'm talking quickly, normally I'm not speaking this fast. It's just a little bit faster for the recording. And last thing is, if you have any questions about this or if you want me to go deeper on anything, feel free to send me a message on Instagram at oxy.tim.tim, oxytim, oxy.tim, and we'll chat there. I respond to all my messages. I've got nothing to sell you. All I want you to do is grow, and I want you to learn. So let's go ahead and pop into the call. Let's go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, loud and clear.
Okay, sorry about all that. I didn't get a link, and we got a hell of a snowstorm going on here, so I don't know things. I don't have Wi-Fi here right now where I'm at. But anyway, I guess we're
good. Everyone's all safe in the storm. It's like a dangerous storm, or it's just a bit annoying.
Good snowstorm that we've been needing.
A lot of sales trainers and sales companies, a couple I can name right now, they always overrate the importance of building rapport at the beginning of a call. I keep it really simple and really fast. I don't do this long extended conversation, 10 minutes about the weather, talking about his fucking kids, family, whatever. I don't do that. All right. It's super fast and it's simple. And again, to be clear, this offer that I'm on right here is a dating coaching offer where we're helping men to attract better relationships, helping men to find their dream partner. And that's what I'm going to help this man do. Let's continue.
So I don't know how much we're supposed to get. It just, what I mean, it's real cloudy and snowing. So cell service has kind of been a little funny this morning.
Yeah, it happens. It is what it is. Good to talk to you, though. Good to talk to you. We're here now. I'm actually living out in Europe. I live in Hungary. So,
no kidding.
Yeah, pretty far away from you. Where are you based out of?
So
like, tell me, what do you look? I just skipped him saying his location, but he's just skip that. For specifically in terms of how you date and how you build relationships. This is my first question. What are you looking for specifically? First part of the process in terms of this offer, you know, what are you looking for specifically? Let's say you're working for a marketing agency. Let's say in terms of, you know, marketing and acquiring clients and all that, building the revenue. What are you looking for specifically? You could just specify exactly the category, what the offer is, what the general goal is going to be, and then ask what they're looking for specifically, because you want to tie down and get clear on something we call the Holy Grail. Holy Grail is like what they're aiming for. What's their big goal? Okay, let's get that first. Relationships right now in this part of your life, what are you looking for?
Anything. I haven't been on a date or gone on a date or done anything in so long. I've been rejected so much, and I'm so damn shy. And
so this is interesting. He actually didn't answer my question clearly, because the answer would be probably I'm looking for a relationship, or for some guys it's I want to date a bunch of girls. But he didn't answer the question, but he is giving me something really good. Some people will just not give anything great and you have to re-ask the question, but he's actually telling me all the things he's been struggling with, which I still need, and I want to know that, because what the next question would be is tell me what you've been doing to try to get there, like what hasn't been working for you. That's the next part of this. So he's giving that to me anyways. So a little bit later I'm going to get back to asking what the Holy Grail is. I go through it very quickly because I already know what he wants and I know exactly how I can close this guy. But I wanted to get clear on this still a bit later.
Get embarrassed and feelings hurt when a girl tells me no or doesn't show any interest. So I just pretty well just shut down and I stick to my work. I own my own business, so I stick to my work. I'm 15-year recovering alcoholic. So if I'm not, me and my little dog are at an AA meeting or something like that. There's not a lot of social in the area that I'm in. There's not a big influx of nice looking women or available women, and then many are all single moms, which I have no problem with. But I'm years old, and I don't want to be a stepdad.
This is a bit advanced what I'm going to share with you, but something that is interesting that I learned later on in my journey in sales is that when the prospect laughs, nervously about not being good at something or not being where they want to be, you don't laugh with them. I never used to understand this, and I never used to do it because I love to connect with people and I love to make people feel comfortable. But I noticed in sales, I don't want to make people feel comfortable. Your goal is not to make people feel comfortable. Your goal is two things. One, to help them make a change and alleviate the pain they have or get to the result they want. That's number one. And number two, it's to get paid. The first one is helping them, right? Because you can't get paid if you don't help. So your first priority is how can I help solve this person's problem? The second one is I want to get paid. I'm here because I want them to invest and I want to make money. And you have to believe that, you have to feel that, you have to want that. So when he said, he kind of chuckled about what he can't do, what he's not doing well, I'm not laughing with him. Okay.
I don't want to. I hate being hurt because my last relationship hurt really bad, and I don't really want to hurt anybody. And
also, one more thing is when the prospect's talking about what frustrates them, and I'll give you an example of this. Like, let's move away from the dating offer. We can go into something like BizOp. Let's say, let's say that you're teaching, or the offer you're on helps people with trading. That's a good example. I know a couple guys that are on trading offers right now, and let's say that the company helps them trade correctly, helps them, get better returns, etc. What I would say is if they're like, yeah, I've been trying this for a while. I want to really, I found that it's a good way to diversify my income. It's a good side hobby as well. And I want to eventually quit my job and be a full-time trader. It's just so frustrating. I'm not going to be like, yeah, man, I know, right? I'm not going to smile. I'm going to be like, wow, yeah. Yeah, it can't be easy, man. And I'm going to sink into that bad feeling. I want them to feel bad about where they're at right now. Right? The key on sales calls is to magnify the feeling always. Right? Magnify the feeling. So the good, the stuff where they want to be, which is what we call their desire, their future desire, you want to make that be like, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. I see. And the negative, which is where they're at now, it sucks. Or the fear where they don't want to be, you want to sink into that. Be like, yeah. Okay, let's watch.
You kind of, you get in one and go a few times and see that things aren't going to work out and you're uncomfortable, and then you need to break it off or they break it off with you. And I'm so scared of being hurt and rejected. I'm so full of fear that I don't even want to put myself out there. And
I can imagine. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough.
I've never thought myself as a
see how seriously I'm taking it and how I'm adding to it. I'm like, that's tough, man. That's rough.
very attractive person, or I've always felt less than and never good enough. And I've been that way since I was a little kid. And then when I discovered alcohol, that took that fear away. And
now you're sober though, so you handled that part of your life. You moved on, right? You are sober now. I also, by the way, was an alcoholic I was like really struggled with alcoholism. The reason why I did this, I said you're sober now, is because what I wanted to do is reframe this. I didn't want it to be where he was so negative that he eventually believes he can't even do this. So I emphasized you're sober now. You handle it. Good for you. You're sober now. So you're past that part of your life. Because one of the things we always say, and that I learned from a mentor of mine, is like, you can't control the past, but you can influence the future. And I always say this to my prospects. Always. Okay? This is a really big one. Very heavily. When I was in my early 20s, I'm going to be 30 next year, and I went 3 years sober. So I'm very proud of myself for that. Yeah, it was not easy. And
alcohol was, I don't know, for you, alcohol wasn't my problem. It was my solution, because I didn't have any adult ways to handle things. So I just get drunk and, I'd go out to the bar or whatever with intentions of dating a girl or hooking up or whatever. And then alcohol never rejected you. And it was always there.
Well, let me ask you this, like at this point in your life right now, do you want to like make a change and start to he's an older guy. I just censored out his age, but I repeated his age to him over the fears and to start to meet a few women, put yourself in a better position where you can go on dates and you can have female attention. Do you want to make a change in that area of your life where you kind of reserve that it's got to stay this way?
Yes.
Yeah. So here's what I'm doing. I'm putting responsibility on him, because one of the things you want to do on a call is ask people and get very clear with them. Like, are you ready to learn how to do this? Are you ready to make a change? Are you ready to what we call draw a line in the sand and step over it? Shout out one of my sales mentors, Bill Walsh. And the reason we do that is because we want to have the prospect take on a sense of responsibility and willingness to move forward. Because what we're doing in the exploration phase, or some people call it discovery phase, what you're doing is you're trying to essentially get as much commitment and buy-in from them of starting and making a change before you ever pitch, before you ever get to dropping the price. You want to have all that buy-in covered so that once it's time to handle any objections, they're already on board with moving forward. They're already like, I have to do this, and there isn't any other option. The only thing that would stop me is I'm genuinely afraid, or finances are tough and I can't just spend that money. I can't spend 10K, I can't spend whatever, right? So that's what we're doing here, and that's why I'm trying to make sure that he's willing to make a change. Okay.
Like to, my goal has always been able to sit down with a pretty lady or someone I was attracted to, have a conversation and get a little bit of attention from one and feel comfortable. But I get so overcome with anxiety and nervous and scared and think, well, I'm never good enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm just always less than. And then he put off that negative energy, and that's not attractive at all.
And then they feel that negative energy, and the cycle continues.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. At a certain point, if you do want to have an amazing woman in your life, would you want a relationship at some point again? To be in a relationship with a great girl? This is where I'm going back to his holy grail, because he didn't answer me before, so I'm asking about this. Right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it positive, because we can't just stick in the negative. We can't stick in, here's what wasn't working, here's what wasn't working, here's what wasn't working, because then you'll get the prospect saying, if you pitch and you never move away from that, the prospect will be like, okay, yeah, this journey is really tough. Let me think about it. And the reason they're thinking about it is because they're so afraid because of everything that's gone wrong.
Well, yes, I think so. I would like that at some point.
There's his holy grail. He wants to be in a relationship with an amazing woman.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. At a certain point, if you want that, you're going to have to confront the fear. You know that. That's just the reality of it. You're going to have to confront the anxiety and be willing to face rejection, because you might get rejected. And again, I'm talking much slower. I'll show you guys my pacing here. I'll just do it at one speed for 1 second so you can hear exactly how I'm saying this. I want you to be able to hear the pacing and how I deliver this. You have to confront the fear. You know that. That's just the reality of it. You're going to have to confront the anxiety and be willing to face rejection, because you might get rejected. It's the thing. Yeah. It happens. I'm sure you know that logically, but and why I'm saying this is because I'm anticipating that he might at the end be like, I'm afraid, which ends up happening. He doesn't say that directly, but that's what's causing his financial objection. I know it's tied to his fear. So what I'm doing is I'm getting that buy-in, like, you're going to have to confront this fear, brother. I'm getting that from him on the top, right? And this is not just for dating offers; it's for any offer you're in, right? This could be if you're in an offer that, let's say, you do real estate coaching, or not you, but the company does real estate coaching. And like, I've tried, and I'm just having such a hard time getting on the right projects, getting with closing the right deals. I'll say, well, at a certain point, you're gonna have to. You're ultimately gonna have to put your foot down and say that this is gonna change, and that you're gonna control the way that you give back to your family and the way that you build your portfolio. Is that something that you're ready to do? Right? See there, I'm asking it that way. It's the same thing I'm doing here, but just for a different offer. So you've got to put the responsibility on the prospect. Make sure you don't skip that part. It's super important. Actually, dealing with it is not easy. It isn't.
No.
Yeah. What do you want to happen? Like, in terms of meeting a great girl and being able to find that maybe that Mrs. Right for you, what would happen that person in your life, that lady in your life? What would that do for you personally? How would that make your life better? Being with it. So now what I'm doing is I'm painting future desire, okay? This is the future, his desire. So the steps, if you haven't trained with me before, you don't know the closing process I use, but it's simple. It's first is create a gap, like where do they want to be versus where they are now, and in that space you need to find out what their holy grail is, like what is the thing that they want the most. Secondly is we paint the future desire. Where do you want to be at? What does that look like? What does it feel like? Then you go into the fear. What happens if you never get there? That's the problem. If you never get there, you never do anything, what happens? And within there's a couple boxes we need to check off, like urgency. Why do you want to do this now? Are you willing to back yourself? Responsibility, those kind of things we need to check off within that process, okay? But this is what I'm doing now. And if you don't know this process, it's the most efficient sales process. And I've created it. I'll be honest, I've created it by taking from different mentors of mine and putting it together. Some from guys that are really popular in the industry, some from guys who are very underground and you wouldn't know. But this is the most efficient sales process I've ever seen. My calls literally take half an hour to 45 minutes, and I'm closing 20K deals consistently. So not all the deals are 20K, but I'm closing anywhere from 5K to 20K consistently, repeatedly. So what I want you to do is learn a process. And if you want to learn more about the process, shoot me a message over on IG. I've got nothing to sell you. Again, everything I give away is for free. And we'll chat about it. I can send you over some resources that I've got from what I do with my training, maybe even add you to our community. It's a free community. We've got private community, and bring you in there. Just shoot me a message on Instagram at oxytim, at oxy.tim. Amazing one.
Well, I mean, sure make you have a little more self-worth and feel better about yourself. It'd be fun to have somebody to go do some stuff with, travel with.
You do stuff now? You do stuff actively, like traveling and stuff now?
I do. Me and this dog travel all over the damn.
And the reason I asked him, do you do this now, is because I wanted to make it very visual that you are already doing this now. you would be doing it with someone else, right? I want to make it visual.
Through shoeing horses and things. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm smiling and lighting up now because he's talking about the positive and the good, what the future holds.
Yeah, this is my travel partner right here. Say hi.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, there she is.
What's her name? He's just outside the door. I got a border collie. Told him about my dog.
Owl. Yeah,
Owl the border collie.
Dog. The last serious relationship I was in my first relationship in sobriety, when I moved back home here, about 4 years sober, met this gal and just fell in love with her in sobriety, you know, and we live in.
He goes into talking about, he takes a few seconds and just explains about, you know, how he got the dog, etc. And that's it.
This little dog for my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Move forward. Oh, come on, work with me.
Let's see where I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, he just told me a story and forgot what he was talking about, which is cool. I let him go on that one.
Anyway, when we broke up, I kept the little dog, and
gotcha. And that's
yeah,
okay.
You know,
makes sense.
In years and things. So
you had a call with us a while back, I think, right?
But what?
You had a call with us before. He had done a call with us like a year ago. He didn't remember actually, so I let it go. But he had done a call with us before and didn't take action. This is him coming in basically fresh, like after a long time. A while back. This is not the first time you're talking to us, is it?
It's the first time I'm talking with a coach. I've talked with Eric.
Oh, I thought you did a call with us a couple months back. I thought you did before Eric. I thought so. Okay.
No, you're the first one I've talked to. I talked to Eric.
I see. Okay. In terms of like, you know, making a change in this part of your life, can I ask why are you ready for that now? Because I know you've been in this situation for a while, for a couple of years, and you decided kind of now to have this call and to look at moving forward and growing. Why is it that now is the time for you, as opposed to putting it off more like you have been doing?
You got to just kind of face the fear and you know, reach out and get some help.
Yeah. The reason I ask is because that opportunity has been there for you for a while, and there's always kind of a moment, I think, where we have to self-determine, like, I'm going to take charge of how I live and how I move forward from here. And it's not going to be kind of up in the air. So the reason I asked is I was kind of just wondering, why is that this time for you?
Oh, when I didn't take that call that last time, I think I had to go out of town on a trip and canceled it because I was just out of town. It wasn't take the call at that time.
Gotcha.
If that's what you're referring
to.
It
makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, no, totally makes sense. In terms of all the situation that you're in now, I know you want to make a change and you want to kind of find that this is right or be in a better position to handle a lot of these fears and get out your comfort zone, which is amazing. But the other side of it looks like you don't change and you stay in the same place and you kind of keep going the way things are. What does that look like for the next couple of years if you don't actually make a change? Where do things go?
I'm going to stay right where I'm at.
Yeah. Which is not ideal.
No.
For sure. We can help you. I felt like sometimes I'll go deeper with prospects on this. I will. And now I'll have other calls where I do. I felt like he had given me so much of his frustration already at the top end of the call that I didn't need to go deeper. It turns out I was correct. It's a gamble you take. You feel it out. I would say as a practice, always ask this question even deeper. And I should have asked here. I should have been like, what would be not ideal about that? Tell me, why wouldn't that be good? Why would that not be okay? And just get him to tie down and double down a bit more on the negative. But I felt like he had done enough earlier. I felt like there was enough authority here. I felt like there was enough for me to go into my pitch, which there was, and I go into it. But this is another part of the process. What happens if you don't make a change? What happens if you stay the same over the next couple of years, couple months? Tell me what that looks like. That's the next part. And I can explain to you what we do and how we help you and what we do with our students. If you're willing and wanting to hear about it, I can break down to you how it works and what our strategy is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
No, and you can tell me kind of how it would work and stuff and see.
For sure. So what we do is it's pretty simple actually. We kind of customize for you. Yeah. So I did the pitch there. Now here we go. I finished the pitch, told him pricing, and look how we roll to start the program. That's how it works. That's what I've got for you.
Okay.
How you feeling? Tell me your thoughts. Any questions?
I mean, it sounds great. It really does and things, but I'm not sure if I can afford that much right now. I knew this was going to be expensive, but I didn't realize it might be that much.
Sure. Outside of the money, you understand the protocol for handling objections, guys. There's fear protocol, finance protocol, and partner protocol. There's 3 of them. And think about it. Don't even have a protocol because it's easy as fuck. It's simple. You don't even need to like a big training on it. But when a prospect has a concern or they have an objection, the solution is not, let me handle the objection right now. I talked about this in an earlier training on this channel. What the solution is instead is, 1, you have to understand what the real objection is. But before you get to the real objection, you need to get buy-in from them that they actually like the program they offer and they want to do it. That's first. So that it can't be about, I don't see the value. This is not good for me. It has to be, I want to do this, but there's something holding me back from just crossing the line. And whatever's holding me back, we can figure that out. It's all figure-outable, right? All of it is, okay? So when I'm talking to a prospect and they say it's a lot of money, or I got to go talk to a partner, you don't want to address that head on immediately. You want to go back and say, outside of what you just mentioned, cool, we definitely can do that. Sure, that's fine. I get it. No problem. Like I do here. See, sure, no worries. Outside of that, how do you feel about this? Do you feel like it can actually get you to where you want to be? Or how do you feel? Because that's the most important thing. That's what I care about the most, actually. Right? And then we'll get the prospect talking about why it can work, about how it can help them. So now what we have is we have context, we have momentum going into handling the objections because the prospect and I are on the same page. Cool. We know this works for you. We just got to figure out what's really going on underneath that's preventing you from starting now. That's it. Okay? That's what I'm going to do here. Watch how I do it. I follow a very specific protocol because the money, I mean, we can look at that for sure.
It's going to be expensive, but I didn't realize it might be
So I empathize with him. I say we definitely can look at the money. Not an issue.
that much.
Sure. Outside of the money, because the money, I mean, we can look at that for sure. And I'm talking much slower here than it appears. Again, it's on speed, so I'm saying this real slow. Like the program, just based on what I've gone through here, can actually get you to getting out of this kind of space you've been in for a while and get past a lot of the fear and help you meet women and find a great woman. You do.
Yeah.
And which part of it do you think would work for you the most specifically? Then what I'm doing is I'm getting double buy-in. So he says yes, and I say either why or which part of it would specifically. Why do you think it can? I want him to really, really dig deep and be like, here's why I think it can. I'm not bullshitting you, bro. I think it can. I don't want to handle any objections before the prospect tells me why they think this is going to work.
Well,
that's really what I care about.
Well, learning how the right things to say to a lady is, where I fall, because I know how I say things is and how you say things is a big turn on or turn off. And I don't always, it doesn't always, what I mean doesn't always convey in how I say something.
Yeah.
I mean, I've asked a few girls out on Facebook and I would say, hey, how would you feel about getting together and having a cup of coffee? And, and either get no, I'm busy or I can't, or I have a boyfriend, or they don't even respond.
Or no response.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what we want to change, right? We don't want you to stick in that because those are girls you could go out with. They are, right? Maybe not always on Facebook. We're a fan of meeting women in person. That's what we're a huge fan of.
Sure.
But online is there too.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yes. This is kind of a small town that I live in, and it's not a bit, like I said, it's not a...
And also, I got confirmation during the pitch. While I was pitching, I got confirmation from him that this process would work for him, and he likes it. He likes what he hears. So what's coming up right now is a bit of cash and a bit of fear. That's what's going on.
Huge area, and there's just not, the times that I've been out looking around and stuff, there's just not a lot of, I don't see a lot of eligible women here. I mean, a little bigger city that's not too far away, but here, and right there, that sounds like I'm making an excuse for not getting out and looking around. So you never know when you're going to find the right person. They're going to show up when you're not looking, but you got to get out. You got to get out of the house and go look.
You do. You have to when you're out. And I'm sure, by the way, that when you do go out and do things, I'm sure you occasionally come. So I'm not letting him get away with that. He was talking about how some excuse of like, I don't see a lot of women, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you see women. You definitely do. You have options. You definitely could connect with women. I'm not letting him off the hook on that because I want to handle finances. I don't want him to bring up some other bullshit. So I'm not letting him off the hook. This applies at any offer. If the prospect's like, yeah, I'm just, if they bring up finances and they're like, that's a lot of money. And then you say, okay, do you feel like it can work? They say, yes, but I'm just really busy and all that. Yeah, we've got people, man, that let's say you're working on the trading offer. We've got, people that are training with us that are working 2 jobs, man, taking care of 2 kids, like a family. So you definitely can make the time. You don't need a bunch of hours. You have the time for it. You have the time. It doesn't take a lot of time. That's for sure. And then you go into handling objection. You just smack away the bullshit. Like, nope, we're not doing that. That's bullshit. That's nonsense. You have time. In my case, there are women around. There are women. You definitely can meet women. Cross women that you are attracted to. I'm sure you see women where you're like, I would actually probably go out for a coffee with this woman. But you're not thinking that that's someone you could connect with because you're just not in the space to go connect with her. Right. So you kind of dismiss it.
Yeah.
Which is what happens with a lot of guys. Cool. So I've smacked that out the way now. Now we're not going to stick on that because that's just bullshit. The only problem is the finances. Yeah. As far as us working with you and helping with you and looking at the finances. So is it a case of what I want to do now is figure out what's happening with the finances. Is it where this guy really can't pay and we need to just do a payment plan, or he just can't fucking do it? Or is it that it's a little bit a lot for him to pay the money? What's going on there? You don't have the money at all and you can't actually do this and it's impossible for you to do? Or is it a case of you maybe have some of it and we can figure out how to work with you and make this happen? Which one would it be? Or something else entirely? There's another way to ask this, by the way, as well. But I wanted to ask you this way on purpose because I know he does have the money. The other way you could say is where you do have the money and it's a little bit uncomfortable for you to invest it all and just spend that right now. Or is it where you have some of it and we need to kind of figure out how to make this work because spending this much would be a bit tough, right? Those are 2 options as well. You could ask it that way too. I'm a fan of either one. I've seen it work for me a lot asking both these ways. Tell me straight up, what is it?
Oh, well, that's a lot of money.
And what you want also, he didn't say that he didn't have the money. So now what I know is that he just thinks it's a lot of money and he's a bit afraid. So now what I need to do is repackage and present the value to him of the program, the value of what he wants. And now here's what's important. I don't care about our program here. I care about what he wants, because what I'm going to sell him on is his own desire, that future desire, right? So I'm going to tell him that what he wants also is a lot of money, because he's saying that's a lot of money. That's crazy expensive. That's a lot of money, right? But what I want is for him to understand that what he wants is a lot of money, because that's where the buying is going to happen. Which one would it be? Or something else entirely? When I say a lot of money, I mean it has a lot of value, what he wants, right? Having an amazing relationship, or let's say a different offer, where you're able to provide a life for your family and give back to them, or you're able to retire your mother, or you're able to travel the world and have the freedom you want. That's also a lot. Whichever offer you're on, you can use this exact same thing. Just tell me straight up, what is it?
Oh, well, that's a lot of money.
And what you want also is a lot.
I know.
To go forward where you're happy and fulfilled with an amazing life.
I'm very specialized in my business, and I charge quite a lot for my work, and but you get what you pay for.
Yeah,
you do.
So in terms of you having the fulfillment to be able to build something or partner with a woman that's really amazing to you, is that worth it for you? It's very open-ended. I didn't say, is the price of our program worth it for you? I said, is that worth it for you? As in going down this journey, is that desire that you have, is that worth it for you? And I could ask Ty and also yes or no. We call these crossroads questions, where you ask the prospect an important question that gives that demands a yes or no answer and a commitment on their end to choose a path. Okay, that's important. So watch this.
Well, yeah, it would be.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, let's say that you did have the tools to get over a lot of the fears that you've been dealing with. And let's say that you did have the tools to make a change, and when you did see a woman you wanted to connect with. I want to take it away from the money, and I want to take it to his future. What you're going to get these results, and I want to put responsibility on him to make a change, because that's what's going to cause him to say, okay, let's do it. Whether it's online or in person. Do you think you could find the courage in yourself, with us helping you, to actually make those connections happen? Could you find it if we were helping you? It's not an easy question, but could you?
Sure. With the help, you could, because I'm tired of being rejected so much. I'm tired of it. I don't even ask anymore. I've always been that way. I just had that fear since I was a little.
And I've changed something in my language since. I've changed in shout out Nick. You know who you are, for giving me this. Instead of using the word could, I don't use it anymore. I only use can or will. I don't think it's that serious, actually, but I just like can or will. So I could have replaced the word could with can, because it's just more certain. It's more assertive. It's more clear. It's more certain. It's more, we know this is going to happen. Okay, so that's a better word than could.
Kid of being laughed at and ridiculed and humiliated. So it kept never doing anything. I never done anything in my life, because I was so scared of rejection and fear and being humiliated, or feeling that feeling.
100%. It's not easy. It isn't easy. No. But can I challenge you then to bet on yourself and back yourself, and then take a stand for yourself to correct the course of that here?
Sure.
It is a lot. It's not a little bit.
No, it's just as fearful as if you've done your 4-step in AA and having a sponsor, and if you've worked with a sponsor in AA to keep your sobriety, that fear of looking at yourself and doing all that stuff is scary as shit.
Yeah. But you did it.
But I did it, yeah.
And there's another mountain in front of you now, which is your relationships.
Sure.
Yeah. So what I would want to do here is set you up with your coach. So now I'm going to go for the jugular, because I have him in the pocket where he's confirmed with the decision to make a change. He said, yes, it is worth it for me. Now we're going to move him forward. And I do it simple as this. We can get you started and bring you in to the program. As far as the finances, it's $100, like I mentioned. I don't wait for him to say, so do you want to? I just go for it. If that's a bit difficult for you to do once, you can split it into 2 payments. I want to just look at this one more time. $100, like I mentioned. Coach. We can get you started and bring you in to the program. As far as the finances, it's $100, like I mentioned. If that's a bit difficult for you to do once, you can split it into 2 payments and pay it over 2 months, which would be times 2 instead. Which one would work better for you?
So if you pay twice, then you get hit for another $400.
Yeah, and you don't have 1,000 on the top.
Yeah, well, it's I could put it on.
The offer is high 4 figures, by the way. I just muted the price, just again for privacy reasons, and the offer and the company I'm working with. But yeah, it's high 4 figures.
Credit card, I think.
A lot of our guys do that. And
yeah.
Okay, amazing. Can I get you started here? The way we do things is I give you access to everything and bring you in. And I ask him again, and I'm going to ask him one more time, because what I don't want, and this happens to some people, you rush through the close, and you're like, yay, I'm closing now. You rush through it, you speed through it, and what happens? You rush through it, and then the prospect on the on the payment thing, they say, hold on, I want to give this a second thought. Or they say, hold on, I can't do this right now. Or they come up with some other excuse. So I really am like, do you want to do this? I make sure I get it again. I just don't want them walking away right as they're crossing the line. I fucking hate that. Come you into the program and set you up with your coach here. And I show you the calendar and you book in when your onboarding call is. And we handle payment as well. And there's a couple other things I'm going to send you from our side to come into our program. I can set you up with it here. That's normally what we do on these calls.
Okay.
Amazing. Awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. And you're based out of, before I do this, I just want to ask you again, I just want to make sure, like, you want to go down this journey with us, because we are going to push you. We're not going to give you, I asked him again because he started going silent here. He went real silent and wasn't saying anything. And I didn't like that. So I asked him about where he's at, some logistical questions. He was giving weird answers, and then I just dug in one more time. And I layered it, and really, like, you're about to make a change, bro. Do you want to do this? Anything that's too difficult for you to handle or for you to do? But we're gonna challenge you a lot. And it's gonna challenge a lot of beliefs you had, and we're gonna get you to think differently and to show up for yourself differently. So is that something that you're ready for?
Yes.
Okay. I respect that, and I'm happy you're making this step. Okay. What I'm gonna do is go through your info here, and we'll set you up with everything, and I'll give you my number as well. So if you do the program outside of what you do with Chris, who's gonna be your coach, if you have any questions or anything, you can reach out to me as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna pause the recording for privacy purposes. Yep. And then he gives his card, and we're good to go. Now, I mean, this is a freaking great situation here, and I'm really happy that I could help him and work with him, bring him into our program and train him up. You can see the basic principles. Like, this is how you're going to get good if you understand the protocols, if you know where you're going in your sales process, if you're not confused, if you're not just throwing random shit at the wall. There are very specific protocols you can use to handle objections, very specific protocols that you can use when the prospect's afraid. When the prospect has fear, if you know where you're going, if you understand where you're moving in the interaction, if you understand how to handle shit, you're gonna make money consistently. You're gonna make 10, 15K a month or more and have better opportunities than you ever thought were possible. This is what I like to do. This is what I like to help with. So what I would say is, if you want to learn the protocols even more so you can start cashing out, send me a message on IG at oxy.tim, oxy.tim, and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to put way more of this training out. For those of you who are serious about getting good and getting good at, sales, getting good at closing, getting good at bringing the deal over the line, send me a message on Instagram and we'll chat there. I respond to all my messages, and we'll get you better. I'm going to help you out. And we also are coming out with a private community. If you want to be a part of that, it's free community as well. We're creating a school community in the next couple of weeks. We'll have that out, where we're going to train every single week. We're going to role play. We're going to practice. We're going to get good. We're going to learn how to take the prospects to the next level. And we're going to be some of the best out there. And you're going to be one of the best out there. So if you want that to happen and you want to be a part of it, go ahead and send me a message on Instagram. I'm more than happy to respond. Okay? Take care and keep going. Get out of the haze. Wake yourself up. Take some action. Build. And I will see you on our next one.